morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Lisa, your art teacher. Welcome back to my table of art. How many of you like dragons? I love dragons. They're scary and they shoot fire. And how many of you like the knights that fight our dragons? Yes, they're very brave men. So you have your knights in shining armor, and we have dragons. How about the fairy princess that's up in the castle waiting to be rescued by her knight in shining armor? I love all those stories. Well, today what we are going to do is we are going to paint our own castle with our own princess, our own knight in shining armor, and our dragon for the knight to battle. And it's going to come out sort of looking like this. This is our castle. And we're going to paint it not with a paintbrush. We're going to use cardboard, and we're going to scrape the paint onto the painting. And we're going to create our dragon and our knight, and then later on we're going to come back and revisit all our shapes to create more details onto our castle. So if you're all excited and you want to create your own castle, let's get started. We're going to need a few items. We're going to need a piece of cardboard. I have a thin piece of cardboard, which is just fine. If you have a thicker piece of cardboard, that's okay. We're also going to need a scissor because we're going to have to cut our cardboard into strips. And we're going to use those strips to paint with. You're going to need a paper plate or something to put your paint on. If it's acrylic paint, do not use anything good because the acrylic paint will ruin it. That's why I like to use paper plates. I could throw it away when I'm done, or I can let it dry and use it over and over and over again. And you're going to need some paints. I'm using acrylic paint for this project, but you can use tempera paint, you can use finger paint. Watercolor won't work with this, but whatever paint you use, make sure you have something to put it on. And also what you're going to need is something to protect your table. I have a sheet of newsprint protecting my table. If you have newspaper or just a big sheet of paper, because we never want to leave a mess where we were working. All right, so and also we're going to need a marker because we're going to have to revisit our painting because we want to add details. And we're going to need one large piece of construction paper because that's the piece that we're going to draw and paint our castle on. So I have mine. If you don't have paper this big, use whatever you have. Don't worry. And there's nothing saying you cannot create a castle on top of a piece of newspaper. That'll make it even more interesting with all the words behind it. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so let's get our cardboard and our scissor, and we want to start cutting some strips. I'm going to cut some different widths because I'd like to have some thin pieces and some thick pieces to work with. So you see what I have here? I have a thinner piece, and then I have a thicker piece. Maybe part of the castle I like to have wide. Maybe part of the castle I like to have thin. So I have different widths of cardboard. And you're going to see how we're going to use that. Now the color choices that you get for your paint, that's up to you. I've chosen my palette of colors. And I have yellow, blue, green, black, purple, and pink. Because I like these colors, but you choose whatever colors you like. See mine? I put them all on my plate and we're ready to go. When we make our castle, we'd like our paper held lengthwise, which is considered portrait. If I put it this way, that's considered a landscape. So we want to put it portrait style, and we'll get ready to do our painting. I'm going to move this up, my computer up, and I'm going to grab my helping hand. Here's my helping hand to bring the screen down so you can see my table. I'll see you in a little while. Okay, so everybody should be able to see this. See if my light is helps a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to choose my color for my castle. Now I happen to like pink, so I'm going to start with pink, and I'm going to take a piece of my cardboard and I'm going to just dip the edge of my cardboard, getting enough paint on here to start making my castle. Now, do you see how much paint I put on here? And And now I'm going to scrape my castle. I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to work my way down. Do you see how I'm creating my first strip with my cardboard? And that's going to be the first part of my castle. And I'm going to show you the painting again so you can see what I'm doing. You see, I'm creating my castle. Now you could have as many buildings on your castle as you choose. And you could even change the colors if you choose. I'm going to continue with another one. I'll put another one on this side. And I'm simply scraping down. If you don't have enough paint, revisit it with more. And I'll put a small one right here. Now, see how I missed some paint here? That's okay. I could come back with it if I want and fill in that area, but I find it very interesting, so I'm going to leave it without the paint. The next thing I'm going to decide on is, what do I want to put at the bottom of my painting? Do I want to have a moat going around the castle, which is a whole body of water, which should be to protect the castle, so it makes it harder for invaders to get into the castle? I like that idea, so I'm going to get my blue paint and I'm going to start creating my moat. So my blue paint, I'm making like waves. Let me move this up so you can see this better. I'm dipping into my blue paint and I'm trying to create waves in my moat, even though there probably wouldn't be waves like the ocean in my moat because the water would just be still. But I like the effect that it's going to give to the image of my painting. Here we go. And the water's going to come right up to the viewer. So I'm bringing it all the way down. Okay? I like the moat. Now, in the moat, I'd like to put my dragon. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my green paint now, and I'm going to create the dragon effect. And it's not going to really look like a dragon until I put details on it. Now I'm going right into my blue paint, and I'm making a loop and another loop. And then I'm going to put some green paint right here in the reverse kind of a loop. I want you to see what I did. Here's a loop coming out of the water, another loop coming out of water, and a reverse loop coming out of the water. Because when I come back and revisit this, I'm going to add details, and this is going to appear to be the dragon, and I'll make a face with some fire coming out to create the dragon. So I have this dragon in the water, and once I come back with details, it'll look more like a dragon. Now my knight in shining armor, I'm going to cut a thinner piece of cardboard for my knight, and I'm going to use my black paint for the knight. I'm going to put him right up here in front of the castle. Now I know this may not look like anything to you right now, and that's okay. That's going to be his shield protecting him from the dragon. And I'm going to come back and draw a knight behind this shield. How about in the sky? Should I put anything up in the sky? I think I should. I'm going to put the sun up in the sky. So I cut another small piece of cardboard so I can dip it in the yellow paint and put a nice sun up in the sky. So I'll scrape it into a circle shape. And I'll add some of the beautiful sun's rays using just the edge of the cardboard. You see how I'm doing that? Just the edge. And that creates the lines of sun rays coming out. How about some blue clouds? Should I add some blue clouds? Okay, here's my blue stick again. And I'm going to add just some wavies, bring them back around. However you'd like, don't worry. You like the clouds here? So we have the sky. We have what's going to be my castle. my knight in shining armor, my dragon, and the moat. Okay. Now, I know that this is going to be my dragon, so I would put some flames coming out, but I'm going to wait till later because we can always add later. But what I will do right now is I'd like to add some shadow to my castle. Right now it looks kind of flat, so I'm going to dip into the purple paint, and I'm just going to scrape along the side of my castles, just to appear that there's a shadow on this side of the castle. And you know why it's on this side? Because the sun is over here and it's shining in that direction. So I'm just going to make it look like there's a little bit of a shadow. Now my cardboard touched some of the black paint, and it added some really interesting dots onto my castle, which is really even more interesting than before. So painting with the cardboard is just a matter of scraping. I'm going to add some more blue to my water, because as it dries, I can put more layers of water. And you could see the different layers when you come back to it. See how I added some more water on the bottom there? Okay, let me put this aside, and I'm going to get my helping hand and bring it back up so I can talk to you. Okay, I'm back. All right, so now that has to dry before we come back and add our details. But we can talk about the kind of details we're going to add to our castle. I put some triangles up at the top of some of the castles, 2 of them, because I like that look, and it gives it a castle effect with a nice flag hanging above it. And some of the castle tops I made like an old-fashioned castle, where it's a line that goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down to create this look of the top of an old-fashioned castle. I put some flags on top too. Here I made what almost looks like upside down smiley faces to create the illusion of windows. Do you think that worked? I think it worked too. Who's this? That's the princess. She's waiting to be saved by her man, her knight in shining armor. Okay? Here I have the illusion that there's bricks, that the castle is made out of bricks. And I have some connecting ladders and stairs going from building to building. Down on the bottom here, I have the entrance to the castle, and the entrance to the castle and the plank that's going over the moat so that the knight in shining armor could come out and fight the dragon. And with the dragon, we gave him some points on his back and some legs, and his fire coming out of his mouth, and here's our knight. Okay, so now we have to wait till our castle dries. But in the meantime, if you have another large piece of paper, we can make a crown for the king of the castle. So let me grab a piece of paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half lengthwise. We're going to have corner meet corner so we can fold it. Corner meets corner, hold it in place. Corner meets corner, hold it in place. Let me get my helping hand so you can see what I'm doing. So we have the corners have met. Now we're going to walk our fingers to the center. One holds it in place while the other slides down, and then they both slide to the outside. Now, when you build a crown, what does a crown have? It has points at the top. Exactly. So we want to work from the edge that's open, and we want to start making crowns points, which are zigzag lines. And look how I made the zigzag lines. Now, the reason I folded this paper in half is when I go to create a crown for your head, that will be too small. So by folding it in half, I'm going to have double the length so we connect the pieces and make a bigger crown. And we only have to cut once. So remember, the open end is here, and that's the part of the crown we're going to need, not the folded top up here. So now let's cut the zigzag line that we just created. Don't worry about being perfect. Miss S is not worried. Why should you? And I'm cutting, and I'm cutting, and I'm cutting, and I'm cutting. Okay, so this is the part that has the fold. I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to put it aside, but I'm not going to throw it away because I might need that for something else later on. Some kind of great project we could use. So look what we have now. We have two parts of the crown. This is far too small to be a crown for your head, but if I connect the two, we could adjust it to any size that would fit your head. So we'll give our castle a little while to dry, and in the meantime, how about we decorate our crown? We can go back to our paints, and we can use all the colors of a paint that we have. And that's a real easy way to do it too. What we can do is we could start with some paint, oops, and maybe make some jewels on our crown, big emeralds. Now this is all up to you. You could decorate it any way you want. We could add some pretty pink. Maybe make it go right across the edge. We could add some yellow, brighten it up a little bit. We could use the edge of the yellow to create some lines. We could get some blue and put dashes in between. See how Miss Lisa's doing this? You can decorate your crown any way you want. Here's one part of my crown. I kind of like that. I'm going to leave this right here while I do the other part of the crown. Because we have two parts to the crown. So it'll be doubly interesting. This part I'm going to make different. I'm going to put my helping hand over here. I'm going to take the purple. Make the bottom purple this time. Look at that. Two colors I love, pink and purple. Look at how pretty. And I'm only using a piece of cardboard to paint. How about some yellow? Maybe I'll make some yellow diamonds up on the top. Ooh, look at those diamonds. Those are beautiful diamonds. Boop, 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 boop. And you could put any shape you want on your crown, and I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. Now I might add some pink. A little pink here, a little pink here, a little pink here. Some pink scrapes coming down. And lastly, I think I'll add some green in between. Some green lines. Look at that. That's pretty. That's beautiful. Very interesting. Here's my second piece of my crown. How do you like that? Pretty cool. Okay, now let me put the crown aside because believe it or not, this paint dries pretty fast. So I'm going to get back the castle. It's not completely dry, but I can work with it. And I'm going to come and get my big fat marker, and I'm going to start adding details to make this become something. I'm taking the two smaller castles, and I'm going to add the flags and the triangles to the top of them. See how I did that? So it's already starting to look more like a castle. And the other ones, I'm going to give that old-fashioned type of a top where the line goes up and down and up and down. So that's one. Okay. And what should we put on the very top of the main castle? What do you think? I guess we're going to have to put this kind of a line up here. What do you think? Okay, let's do that. We're going to put that line up at the top. Up and down, up and down, up and down. And then I just want to extend this to the side here. How's that look? It's looking great already, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to add some windows now to the castles. Let's start with this castle over here. Looks like the paint's a little bit drier. And they don't have to be in a certain order. You can make them any way you want. I have some windows on this castle already. And I'm going to add a little ladder going from one end to the other castle. Loop, loop, and I'll put the stairs in. See how I connected the two castles here? You could do the same any way you want. I want to give the illusion of some brick over here. So when you want to show brick, you can make some lines and space the bricks every other section. See how that looks like bricks? It makes the illusion that the whole building is made of bricks. Maybe I'll put it in one other area so it'll look a little bit more realistic, like it's brick. And you space the lines. So I put another one down here. Now this tall building is where I'm going to put the princess. And she's going to have a crown and a big smiling face. And I'm going to have her hair coming down really long. And she's going to be in the window up at the top of the castle. How do you like that? She's reaching her arms out to her knight in shining armor. And we'll add some more windows along the way to the other parts of the castle. Make them all connect with some ladders. Some more brick. And you can decorate your castles any way you want. It's all up to you. I can't wait to get to the dragon and the knight. Now I'm going to add a little bit over here to the castle. A little window up here. And a little window up here. And some more windows here. And another string for them to connect the buildings. Okay, so here I have my castle all ready to go. And now we've got to get our knight and our dragon. So our dragon is down here. Whoops, I'm getting paint on my arm. It's not really dry yet. And on the back of my dragon, he's got these spiky things coming out of him. And that's coming up this way. Scary looking already. Okay. Now he's going to make his face. See how I drew the dragon in there? Okay. And now let's get our knight. Our knight in shining armor. He's going to have his protective helmet. but he's going to be ready to fight the dragon. So his arms up in the air. And he's got his sword up in the air. And he's ready to rumble. How's that? We have our dragon in the moat. Oh, we have to draw where the main entrance is to this castle, right? Let's get the main door going and bring the moat out. And how about we go back to our paint? We've got the yellow paint, and we'll make some of this fire come out of his mouth, shooting out at the dragon, shooting out at our knight. And I left one color out. We had a little red because we want red in the fire, right? Almost done. We want that fire coming out of his mouth, red. Yeah, that looks good. Look at that. Does that look like a fire-breathing dragon to you? It does to me. Now you could come back and use markers to color in all your details. That's up to you. But for today, this is our castle. Let me bring this up so you can see me. Hello, I'm back. What do you think? You like your castle? Make it any way you want. You can make your castle purple. You can make your castle blue. You can make it green. That's up to you. You could add anything you want to your castle because it's your creation. But have fun and enjoy it. And don't forget to put paper down on your table so you protect the table from all the paint mess we're going to make. Now, we're done with our castle, but I have not forgotten our crowns. Have you? I did not. Well, they're not completely dry, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the two pieces. I want to line up the points so that they are together as one instead of having it overlap like this. Let's put it together so it looks like one crown. You could use either tape or you could use a stapler. I'm going to use tape because I don't like using a stapler sometimes because my hair gets stuck in the staples. So I'm going to use tape, and I'm just going to tape the two pieces together. And if it doesn't come out perfect, don't worry. We're not worried about being perfect. We're worried about having fun, creating a scene with the king and the queen and the princess. Now look how long this is. This is super long. And my head definitely is not this big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure around my head and see how long I need this to be. There we go. Okay, I just got an idea. I'm going to wrap it around and tape it again. This is an easy way to make a crown. Then use your imagination to create a whole scene, make a play act like you're the king and your friend is the princess and everybody else is in your show. Ready? Watch what I got. Now, either I'm the king or I'm the queen. What do you think? Do I look like a beautiful queen? Definitely not a princess. All right, boys and girls. That's it for today. We have our crowns and we have our castles. I hope you enjoyed doing this as much as I enjoy doing it with you. So, until we meet again, always keep art in your life. Be a good boy and girl. Be creative. Use your, oops, my crown's falling. Use your imagination. And most of all, have fun. Until next time, ciao for now from Miss Lisa's Table of Art. Bye, kids.